First of all, I need to say this, my gorgeous Leo. Okay, and I know I have seen something like this before because this has been going on in your life for a while. There is this precious, beautiful, super precious, super gorgeous person you need to protect. Somebody needs your protection. So it is to do with this vulnerable person in your life, and this particular person is having an advantage taken off, and someone is taking an advantage of this gorgeous person in your life. So it's to do with somebody who is really nice, really kind, really loving, really giving. All their life this particular person has been giving their love to other people in their life. So much love this person gave to other people. This person is somebody in your life, somebody who is pretty much so having a really hard time at the moment because somebody is taking advantage of that person, and I do not like this whatsoever. Somebody is taking an advantage of that person, and it's maybe taking things from that person, is probably most likely using this person quite a lot. This is completely inappropriate, and it's completely, oh my God, immoral. This is becoming immoral. And I think if you did not hear about it just yet, you're most certainly going to become aware of it. You're going to become aware of it, my gorgeous Leonie. And I need you to protect that particular person from that other person who is taking an advantage of that person. And that other person who is taking an advantage of this person is not necessarily an evil person, but it's somebody who is not, oh, if there is something wrong with that person who is taking an advantage of this gorgeous person in your life. There is something terribly wrong with that person. And it's not even the right time to kind of be horrible or be nasty to that other person, although what that other person is not nice and it's not good and it's not positive whatsoever. But that other person who is taking an advantage of this person, there is something not quite right up here, you know. And I know it sounds horrible, but I think it's somebody who had a really difficult life, a really difficult childhood, and that particular person has kept so many things inside for so long instead of talking and opening themselves up. And now they've reached this really crazy stage, crazy point in their life, my gorgeous Leonie, where things are becoming really scary. And if that particular person doesn't deal with their own problems, with their own inner demons, for example, you know, it is not going to end up okay whatsoever. So it's not necessarily an evil person we are talking about, but it's just somebody with so many problems, my God. And that particular person never dealt with their problems. And this is what can happen, and there is still time to heal that particular person who is doing these nasty things by taking an advantage of, you know, this other gorgeous person in your life. But I would like to focus on this gorgeous person in your life who this person is taking an advantage of. And I'm so sorry to talk about it for so long. I know that, you know, to some of you are going to be like, oh my God, what am I talking about here? But this is so important, and I really feel the need to stress the importance of this. You need to really do something here. You need to protect that gorgeous person in your life at all costs, you see. But you need to keep in your mind at the same time that this other person who is doing this is not well themselves, you know. So this is what you need to keep in mind. So you need to be very smart, very clever, and you need to come up with some kind of a plan. You must do this because I'm sorry, my gorgeous Leonie, you're the only one who can actually do something about it. And if you do not know who this person is, or if this did not happen to you, then you're going to become aware of this at around the beginning of this week, and you will know exactly who I was talking about and who I was referring to. So you need to be smart. The worst thing would be to go and have a row or an argument with that particular person who is taking an advantage of that person, but you can't do that. Because if you go and have a row or an argument with that person who's taking an advantage of this gorgeous person in your life, you're going to do the worst thing, because then that gorgeous person in your life is going to get it. You see how complicated sometimes things are. So you need to come up with an important plan, very, very important plan. But I do know that you are going to come with a very, very smart and clever plan. You're going to do something very significant here. And when it comes to karma, this is going to get back to you in million ways indeed. So this is the first thing I wanted to say to you, my gorgeous Leonie. You're also going to have a really beautiful surprise at the beginning of this week from somebody who is very close to you, like either your best friend or like your family member or your partner. For example, you are going to have a big surprise. Your partner is gonna tell you something, or your friend is gonna tell you something, or your family member is gonna tell you something. When I say your friend, this would probably need to be a very close friend, like a family member, for example. But the bottom line is that particular one of the special people in your life, it's really going to surprise you. Oh my God, you can know this person in and out. You can understand this person in and out. You can know this person for 100 years, for 50 years, for 30 years, for 40 years, for 20 years. You can know this person all your life. But I can assure you that you are going to have one of the biggest surprises through that person, and it's going to be horrible. No, I'm joking. No, you're going to have one of the biggest surprises from that particular person, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's about something you've suffered in silence about for so long. It's about something you waited for so long, but you didn't want to be whiny. It's about something that means to you so much, but you didn't want to think about it persistently because you would lose your mind how much this means to you, because you would lose your grip with your reality right now, the way this would actually affect you. So bless your heart, you were protecting your energy. We do find our personal ways or our own ways to protect our energy, my gorgeous Leonie, indeed. And that's exactly what you were like kind of doing here, you know. And what else I was going to say? I don't know what I was going to say, my gorgeous Leonie, right now. Can you just remind me, please? Can you just remind me, please? Yeah, that's right. You are going to, thank God, thank God. Now, you are going to have a really beautiful surprise from somebody in your life. My God, this is going to be so good. This means to you so much, because I'm telling you that you were suffering in silence for so long, how much you wanted something. You didn't even want to think about it too much or for too long, because then you would lose a grip with reality right now. Okay, so you were very clever and very smart about it indeed. This in itself, the moment in time you find out what that person is gonna tell you, that moment in time, oh my God, this is going to be one of the best news you've had in a very long time, because you are going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised because it's also to do with something that you've been waiting for a long time now, but it's like kind of more maybe to do with a certain process, you know, waiting time, waiting for the certain moment, waiting for the certain process. And it hasn't only been down to you. One other person is involved, or other people are involved when it comes to this. But the bottom line is you are gonna be very happy, because this is what you lived for. This is what you live for. You know, my gorgeous Leonie, I'm going back to the last few years. You feeling so uncomfortable and so unhappy with your current situation, okay? Like, and I'm not saying that you're miserable and sad, but this is a lot to do with you like waiting to make like a really big a move when it comes to this lifestyle change, when it comes to this lifestyle change, which is ultimately going to make you feel so much happier. You have been waiting for this for a very, very long time. I know how much this means to you. You are as soon as you become aware of what this person is gonna tell you, this will be like your green light, but you're gonna feel so surprised, and you're gonna reconnect with yourself at that moment in time like never before. I mean, come on, in terms of healing, this is going to be so powerful that the healing energy is going to take over, which means that you are instantly going to feel like you've got so much more energy. And that in itself is going to make you feel so much more powerful. You will start like, oh my God, to be so active after this moment in time. And you're going to go into this planning mode. As soon as that person tells you what am I talking about, you're instantly gonna go into this planning mode. But this planning mode, it's gonna be so powerful, my gorgeously on it, because oh my God, there are gonna be additional ideas that you are going to have. And this planning mode is to do with your near future. I'm not talking about right now. I'm not talking about 100 years time. No, baby, no, but I'm talking about a near future, about a very, very near future indeed. So this is how your week is going to start. You're going to feel so, so happy, like you haven't felt happy in a very long time indeed. And I'm liking it because you deserve this, my gorgeous Leonie, indeed. And also, when it comes to the beginning of this week, yes, okay, something little bit negative, it's going to happen as well. At around the beginning of this week, you do have this a bit of an unexpected situation. But then again, when it comes to this unexpected negative situation, you are not going to be like you're going to be thrown out of balance just for a second or two, but you're not going to be completely surprised. You're not, because this is something that you have been expecting, my gorgeous Leonie, okay? This negative situation, well, you're going to become aware of what is going to happen to you. It's going to be a little bit negative. It's going to throw you out of balance. It is like to do with a very specific revelation that you are going to have at the same time, and you're not going to like it because it's to do with a specific person and a specific group of people. You're not going to like this revelation. But then again, it's not so much about this revelation. It's more about what you've expected negative to happen. It's actually going to happen, and it's actually going to take place. And you know what you're going to realize? You're going to realize that at that moment in time, you will be free. You will be liberated. And you also need to, you will also understand that now it's time for action. You must not waste your time after this moment in time. When I say that you must not waste your time after this moment in time, you're immediately gonna be reminded, my gorgeous Leonie, of like this like kind of opportunity which you've had which you've had before, but you couldn't do anything about it. Okay, so you're instantly going to be reminded of this opportunity which you've had before, not that long ago, but you couldn't do anything about it. And this opportunity is now going to start shining really, really bright. And you felt so angry and so kind of, so angry with yourself at the time when maybe you could have taken this opportunity, and you were blaming yourself for a while that you didn't. So you saw this as some kind of a missed opportunity. And now you will be able to not only take that opportunity on that you couldn't take it before, but now you will be able to give yourself fully to it. And this is why you're going to actually feel really, really happy. And as soon as you realize this, you are going to absolutely understand almost immediately that this is going to be like your precious sign, like a really good omen that you are doing the right thing and you are indeed on the right path when it comes to that opportunity being highlighted right now. Something that you missed in the past, or something that you just couldn't take on purely because this like kind of negative situation that is going to come to an end did not allow you to do this. So of course that this is going to be a fantastic moment of your personal liberation where you are going to set yourself free. My gorgeous Leonie, it is time, it is time, it is time for you to stop living in the past. It is time, it is time, it is time for you to move on with your life. And that's exactly what you are doing right now. This is going to inspire you so, so, so beautifully. But again, at the same time, this opportunity that it's gonna be like a highlighted here as well for you, it's like, oh my god, it's gonna bring like a huge reward into your life. And already by the end of September 2024, already by the end of September 2024, you are going to have such a nice reward. Sorry, when it comes to that opportunity, you are going to have such a nice reward by the end of September 2024. I mean, when it comes to finances, you will be able to do something you couldn't do before. You will be able to buy something you couldn't buy before. You will be able to reward yourself in such a way where you will be able to kind of deal with this extra amount of finances, for example, which is going to allow you to do this already by the end of September. Indeed. So this is why this is going to be so important. There is something telling me very strongly that when you become aware of this opportunity, when you are reminded of this opportunity, something is telling me that this is the type of opportunity that you need to be as open-minded as you possibly can, especially when it comes to how long it's going to take. Because something is going to be keep on putting you off. Something is going to be keep on putting you off, but you must ignore that element. Something is going to be keep on putting you off in terms of how long is something going to take. You do not think about that. You must not think about that whatsoever, because this type of opportunity, it's like a pretty much comes with a very big boom, very big surprise. On one hand, it makes you feel like it's going to take ages. This is part of the challenge, baby. You need to go over. It's going to make you feel like it's going to take ages, or I can't do this, too many adjustments, you know. But then on another hand, it's going to happen like something is going to happen overnight, like literally. Something is going to happen overnight, literally. And this is what I need you to remember, my gorgeous Leonie. Indeed, absolutely brilliant in so many different ways. Oh my God. You need to understand that this is going to be more important than you can possibly imagine. You also, Leo, need to pay attention to this. You need to pay attention to this. You need to pay attention to this, because this week it's going to be revealed to you what are you doing excessively. There is something that you're doing excessively, you know, and you need to calm down a little bit. And this in itself means that it's not only about you coming down a little bit, but it's just like some kind of addiction. It's going to become absolutely obvious. Okay, and it's to do with a specific addiction, and I've seen this before. And there is something that you're going to feel frustrated about at around the beginning of this week, and then you're going to realize that this particular something has become like an addiction, and that particular addiction is starting to kind of affect you in a negative way, and it's making you feel frustrated, and it's making you feel negative about things you shouldn't be feeling negative about. So some kind of addiction has taken over, has gone on the second stage, and it's starting to affect you and your lifestyle. Now it's still time to snap out of it. The longer you stay within, the harder it's going to be to come out of it. The reason why you're going to feel frustrated about something, and why you're going to be reminded of this, and why you're going to realize this, is very, very simple. Because if you do something about it right now, is you start doing something about it right now, this is going to come to an end. I'm not saying that it's going to be irreversible later on. No, baby, no. But I'm just saying that if you do something about it now, everything is going to like kind of unfold, in such a specific way where you are gonna also grow and learn so much about it. And there is some kind of incredible experience that you are going to have with all this, which is going to help you to see and understand things that lots of other people don't see and don't understand. So at the same time, you will create this space where you will be able to share, this kind of information and news with people around the world over and over and over and over again. Almost like I see you like starting to help people because based on the experience which you've had. So you are going to become very wise and very, very smart and very clever. And this in itself is going to reveal the whole new world you did not even knew exist when it comes to what you're good about, what you're amazing about. And this is when things are going to start becoming very interesting for you. So that's why you need to kind of do something about it now. And also, my gorgeous Leonie, at around the midweek, regardless what I said, you're gonna, regardless what I said to you at around the beginning of this week, it doesn't matter what I say to you, you're still going to have this moment where you are going to be thinking a lot. There is something that you're going to see, and something is going to remind you of your past, and something is going to remind you of your childhood and how things used to be. And this is where you're going to be triggered. Something is going to trigger you, and you're going to go into this mode where you're going to be thinking about all sorts of aspects of your life. You're going to be thinking about things that you have done. You're going to be thinking about things you have been through. Oh, it's still on, my microphone, just checking. Yeah, you're going to be thinking about things you have been through, and there is a lot going to be on your mind, and you're going to feel like, like how you want more out of life. And this doesn't really surprise me, but you're also going to kind of feel and wonder, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right things? There are going to be so many questions on your mind. And that can happen, that can arise even when we are 100% certain that we are doing the right thing. But it normally also happens before something really big and really massive takes place in our lives, and we are most certainly on the right direction. But the moment in time you start thinking about all these questions, you will want to be by yourself. At that moment in time, something is going to happen, and your third psychic eye is going to open, my gorgeous Leonie. Your third psychic eye, it's going to open, and on one hand, again, it's going to be highlighted what exactly you're trying to do in your life, what exactly you're trying to achieve. This is going to refresh your mind, baby. This is going to refresh you. This is going to refresh your spirit. This is going to refresh your energy. This is going to refresh your soul. And yet again, you will be reminded of your path. You will be reminded what you're working towards. You will be reminded what are you trying to achieve. You will be reminded of the life and lifestyle you're working towards. That's the way to be, baby. You're going to start seeing things like, oh my God, crystal clear. I mean, crystal clear, honestly. And that means that, oh my God, you you are just going to realize, this is going to give you confidence. This is going to give you confidence. And you're going to realize, you know what? Now I know what I'm going to do. I know what I need to do. I know also that, I do not need to make any sacrifices anymore whatsoever. Enough with the sacrifice, and enough with the sacrifices, my gorgeous Leonie. You're going to become so confident right now. You're going to have your memory and your mind refreshed like never before. And the level of confidence you're going to have, it's going to be out of this world. But most importantly, you will know, like, oh my God, you're just going to be reminded of what exactly you are doing, and you're going to feel this on a completely different angle. After that moment in time, you are going to start seeing things in a completely different light. And that's why I'm saying to you that you do not need to make any compromise or anymore whatsoever. You do not need to make any sacrifice anymore whatsoever, because to be quite honest with you, you've made enough sacrifices, and now this is the moment when everything is going to start getting back to you. So you will realize that you are, you will realize what is really wise for you to do, what is really smart for you to do. And like, oh my God, absolute, one of the most magical confirmations of your life. And at around the same time, there is going to be such a specific good omen, such a specific sign, which is going to happen in the form of a a bird is going to do something unusual. Maybe a bird is going to fly in a weird way. Maybe a bird is going to be a weird color you're going to see. Maybe a bird is going to walk in a weird way. Maybe you're going to hear an unusual bird, but at around that time, there is like a little bird or a big bird, which is going to play a really big role when it comes to your sign. A bird is going to be a messenger that all this is going to be brilliant, but it's going to happen in such a way where you are going to be in this specific element, and you are going to be able to notice this completely differently, because you are going to tap into this specific dimension where this bird, it's going to be playing like a massive giant role. And for example, because you're going to be in a very specific element, there could be like 10 people around you, and 10 people wouldn't notice this bird, and you would, you see, because this bird is going to be a part of your dimension, and it's only going to be there to remind you like about this smart decision. You're doing something smart. This is all going to be really smart. It's all going to feel so magical. And not that long after that moment in time, my gorgeous Leonie, things are going to get even more interesting, because you are maybe day or two after that, you are going to get an important news or an important message, and you are going to become aware of the certain events and certain things you're going to need to do ASAP. Certain events you're going to need to attend, and there are certain things that you're going to need to do, and this in itself is going to worry you. Oh, it's not the right time. Maybe the finances are not okay. Oh, I don't have time. You're going to be having headache when you become aware of this. But you shouldn't have a headache, because these events that you're going to become aware of, you have no idea how important this is going to be for you to attend. You will attend this within the next 5 weeks. Within the next 5 weeks, there are going to be these events that you're going to need to attend, my gorgeous Leonie. And you're going to feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's not the right time. But then once you start attending these events, there are certain things that you're going to find out. These things are crucial, absolutely crucial, because what you're going to find out, it's also like kind of going to be so important when it comes to the specific problem and the specific issue in your life that is still affecting you, that is still kind of making things so difficult to you. So when you are like kind of attending these events, a big question is going to be answered to you when it comes to like some kind of a personal problem, and that personal problem hasn't got absolutely anything to do with these events whatsoever. This is how sacred this stage of your life is going to be. Just remember that the one thing is literally going to lead into another, and all this is going to, after you attend these events, you will see that you are going to have like a really big, massive reason to celebrate, to be quite honest with you, because you're going to come up with this mind-blowing conclusion when it comes to this personal problem, and that personal problem hasn't got anything to do with these events whatsoever. See what I mean? By the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Leonie, by the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Leonie, you will realize that the change in your life is imminent. It's absolutely imminent. A change in your life, it's imminent. You're going to realize that at around the end of this week, because this what is actually going to happen, you're going to have such an important indication. You are going to have such an important indication, my gorgeous Leonie, that now it's a perfect time to actually make a really important decision. And which decision you are going to make, my gorgeous Leonie, it's about you putting this plan into action. It's about this plan. You will be in a mode, mode to plan. This is like you are already going to find yourself here on a completely different level, because you're going to be in this mode to plan, my gorgeous Leonie. You're going to be thinking about yourself. You're going to be thinking about your future. You will be able to kind of realize that things are moving on. And there is also going to be this specific information, what you're going to have when it comes to the certain progress as well, when it comes to your finances. And this in itself is going to be brilliant. It's not going to be huge, but it's going to be a very positive sign for you indeed. Almost like subconsciously you were worrying about it, but now this is about to be released as well. And this is why you're going to feel like a change is imminent, my gorgeous Leonie, especially when it comes to you knowing now it's the perfect time to start putting this plan, start putting these plans into action. But that in itself, it's to do with you evolving with your own life. This is the beginning of a promotion of your own life, where you're going to realize that you are going to need to make a really important decision. And this important decision that you're going to make, my gorgeous Leonie, it is ever so significant, because it's like to do with an idea which you've had for like kind of a while, but you couldn't do anything about it because you felt like the time wasn't right and you had way too much on your back. So this in itself is going to be remarkable, and all I can say to you, this is going to be brilliant. But one more thing I want to say, which is ever so important, and you do really need to kind of understand this. Every single time when one phase of our life is coming to an end and another phase is about to begin, it's happening with you here big time. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You're suddenly going to feel so angry about one specific person. You're going to feel so angry about one specific person. This anger, it's going to be out of this world. You're going to feel frustrated about somebody who is like in your life, who's doing bad things, who's doing silly things. But then that person it's like, I know it's rude to show, like that person is not right up here. I know it's so rude, but maybe I shouldn't say it like that. You need to understand that sometimes people are unwell. Sometimes people are dealing with their problems, with their demons, with their issues. You know what I was talking about before about that person, and people can't help themselves. And the people are taking their anger and their frustration and their issues on the people who are the closest to them, on the people who love them the most. And this is when things can become so kind of difficult for those people in their life, in the life of such a person, for example. So I'm talking about somebody who is having lots of problems, lots of issues, somebody who had a terrible childhood. It's to do with that person over there that I was talking about, taking an advantage of somebody else. That's the person that I'm talking about. But now, you know what I'm going to say. You need to understand that that person, you just have to go around nicely and slowly, and you can't deal with that person like how you deal with normal people. That person is super sensitive, having lots of problems, not seeing things crystal clear. This is why they're acting like so crazy. You need to forgive to this person. I know. Every time when one phase of our life comes to an end and another phase begins, we always feel anger about somebody. We always feel anger about somebody really specific. And this is the sign that you need to forgive and forget. You need to release this energy so you can move on with your life. It's not necessarily about that person, but it's about you. And the quicker you do this, the quicker you forgive to this person, the quicker you're going to be able to do all this. Do you see what I mean? Okay, my gorgeous Leonie, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.